Good Tuesday afternoon, and thank you for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Rena Sargentopoulos. New today, we are learning how Minnesotans can say goodbye to Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman and her husband, Mark. The couple will lie in state at the Capitol this Friday. They will be joined by their golden retriever, Gilbert. The Capitol Rotunda will be open to the public to pay their respects from noon until 5 p.m. A private funeral will take place on Saturday, and that will be live streamed. New today, Governor Walz touring what's left of Bemidji after devastating storms ripped the town apart over the weekend. Bemidji's mayor saying every single building and home in the town was hit in some way. Right now, several thousand people in Beltrami County are still without power after losing it on Saturday. Walz says the community has stepped up big time in Beltrami County and that the state will be there to help when they are needed.
Well, this is what we do best, and I think you heard it here. We know that the local folks are able to do. You've got professionals here, and this happens in all 87 counties. But this is something that we all are in it together. This is not what one community or one county can handle alone, and I think it's important to be up here for the state. One, to make that commitment for us to see it, to hear from local leaders, bringing up these points so that I can take it back.
Lots of Minnesota eyes on the NBA Board of Governors meeting today, where the sale of the Timberwolves and Lynx is finally expected to happen. The board will vote on the transfer of the team to baseball superstar Alex Rodriguez and businessman Mark Lowry. The sale had been going, or it should say it has been 4 years in the making, and was tangled up last year when owner Glenn Taylor tried to stop it, claiming Lowry and Rodriguez missed payment deadlines. A court disagreed and allowed the sale to continue. Lowry and Rodriguez have committed to keeping both teams here in Minnesota. Developing right now, Minnesota nurses are ready to go on strike. The Minnesota Nurses Association announcing they have authorized a strike and that all 13 facilities voted yes for that strike. Minnesota hospitals say they have been committed to good faith bargaining throughout the talks. Nurses are citing understaffing, unsafe working conditions, and unfair labor practices among other issues they are facing.
I'd also like to add that the acuity of patients is increasing and has been for quite some time. And the language and the practice that we have for staffing does not account for patients' acuity, which means how much care they need, how sick they are, if they need a higher level of care. And that is what another voice that we're trying to bring to the table to make decisions for our patients, that each patient isn't the same and doesn't require the same care that every other patient does.
Nurses can walk off the job anytime as long as they file a 10-day notice with hospital employers. Developing right now, Israel is promising a big response to alleged Iranian missile strikes hours after the two countries had agreed to a ceasefire brokered by President Trump. The overnight strike slamming into a residential building in Beersheba, which is in southern Israel, killing 4 people and hurting more than a dozen others. Iran is denying that the missile came from them. Now, this is an extremely fragile ceasefire agreement, and it will be a major discussion point as world leaders meet in the Netherlands starting today, and it is a 2-day NATO summit. The summit could unite the world's biggest security organization around a new defense spending pledge or widen divisions among the 32 allies. NBC's Garrett Haake reports from the Netherlands.
The president heads to the NATO summit here in the Netherlands today with an opportunity to consolidate 2 victories on the world stage. First, of course, this ceasefire that he has forged over the last 24 hours between Israel and Iran, in which he was seen colorfully policing on the South Lawn today, and a phone call with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu urging the Israelis to stand down on further counterattacks against Iran. And then on a longer-term issue, one that has always bothered this president, Europe's defense of itself. NATO is expected to approve during this summit an increase in the targeted defense spending for its member nations from 2% to 5%. The president has long said European nations in particular needed to spend more money on their own defense. He could get it at this summit. That's if opposition from a couple of smaller countries, including Spain, can be handled. We'll also be watching over the next day and a half, and that's really all the time the president is on the ground here, for what contact he has with President Zelensky of Ukraine, whether he's able to move the ball in any way on Ukraine's war with Russia and on his own personal relationship with Zelensky that has been so difficult. Now, the president has had rocky relationships at times with some of these European leaders. He has not always enjoyed his NATO summits. He famously left one early during his first term, accusing Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of being two-faced. On this flight over, he is saying he's looking forward to visiting with his European friends and European allies. A different time and place for a president who has long had strained relationships with Europe, but who can come in to this summit today and tomorrow, claiming some victories on the world stage and pushing Europe more towards his agenda for what that stage should look like going forward. In the Netherlands, I'm Garrett Hake, NBC News.
Right now, Minneapolis police are still looking for whoever shot and killed an 11-year-old in broad daylight. It happened at Falwell Park on Minneapolis' north side, but police say they found the boy a few blocks away when a Good Samaritan flagged down an officer. Police saying it is connected to several cars that were driving across the grass there. The Good Samaritan told us that 2 teenagers flagged him down on his porch, one carrying the boy in his arms. He put them in his passenger seat and headed to the hospital, stopping when he saw a police officer who performed CPR.
And I can only imagine what his family members are going through, and I just want them to know that I tried my best I could to save him.
Police say there were several people who saw what happened, and they are asking anyone with information to please come forward. Today, the Metro Transit Police Department is hurting after finding out it has lost one of its best. Sergeant Beverly Rodriguez, who specialized in homeless outreach, died unexpectedly over the weekend off duty. And as Ken Erdahl reports, it is hitting many very hard.
There's always more to a person than the one you see at work.
We'll get off and go on to the next car.
But friends of Sergeant Beverly Rodriguez say her work on the Metro Transit Police Homeless Action Team, which KARE 11 captured back in 2023, gives a glimpse into who she really was.
We realized that we were probably becoming the biggest shelter in the state of Minnesota for homelessness, and so the need was out there.
That's her. She was the same person in uniform and in plain clothes. She was the person that will go the extra mile if she saw somebody that needed something.
Pamela Berrigan and the National Latino Police Officers Association Minnesota chapter are now going the extra mile for the Rodriguez family after her sudden death on Sunday on White Bear Lake. According to the Washington County Sheriff, she fell off a boat and didn't resurface for 40 minutes.
She leaves 2 teenagers behind and a really close-knit family of brothers and sisters.
Pamela says her law enforcement family is in mourning too.
She was always caring about other women in law enforcement. She made that effort to be a mentor. She made an effort to reach out to other women from other departments, from other states.
And her outreach efforts expanded in 2018 when she joined the Homeless Action Team.
She had that servant heart, and that's what she wanted, to become a police officer. Sometimes you could talk to her and she felt bad with some occasions that she was not able to help more.
We've utilized our whole voucher program for the year, so we're waiting on more to house more folks that qualify for the services.
In a statement today, Metro Transit said Sergeant Rodriguez didn't just excel in that role, writing, "She approached this challenging work not merely as a job, but as a calling, bringing both her professional expertise, boundless empathy, and her generous spirit to serve those experiencing homelessness."
Because not everybody can do that kind of work and be kind and be resourceful to give people that are in need and in crisis, homeless and shelter, that kind of kindness and response. So she was the right fit for that.
And perhaps nobody described that challenge and legacy better than she did on the job in 2023.
It's hard to play both roles, but I think the folks that are on this unit definitely have a calling, and they have a passion for the work that they do. So it doesn't take just anybody to be a head officer. We have some pretty good folks on the unit that have been on for years.
Starting July 1st, Minnesotans 12 or older born after June 30th, 2004 will need a watercraft operator's permit to drive a motorboat or personal watercraft like a jet ski or a Sea-Doo. 12 to 17-year-olds already needed to take the online course and test, but this law now expands it to 18 to 21-year-olds. Then, for the next 3 years, the law phases in even more ages until July 1st of 2028, when everyone born after July 30th, 1987 will need one.
Minnetonka, you see a lot of young kids out on boats and stuff without adult supervision, and you have no idea what kind of background or information they've been given, or if they just kind of were handed the keys. I think it's a good thing to have just a baseline of education, just like you would before you put someone behind the wheel of a car.
The law also applies to anyone renting a boat. The course can be taken online and costs just under $35. It is a one-time fee. You can take it as many times as you need to, and then it is good for life. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.